That's what we want to hear. Family, how are you?
I'm good. I am good. I am really, really good. I had a scare, for a minute there. The doctor found blood clots in my legs and my lungs. So I had a scare for a minute, getting back on my feet for the last 3, 4 weeks, getting my wind back up because it affected my lungs and my wind. It gave me a fever and I had pain in my thigh, my leg, and my ankle swelled up. I had all those different symptoms, which was thank God I did because when anything's going wrong with my body, I always read about it and look stuff up, and then get advice, medical advice. And it was lucky that I did. And the doctor was like, lucky I came to emergency room and to the hospital.
Wow.
Um, because they were able to catch it because blood clots can kill you. They could travel to your brain, your heart, and things like that, and you up out of here if they do. So I'm on treatment, for the next 6 months, and things been good. I've been getting my wind back. The pain been subsiding in my legs, so I've been able to exercise again. So God is good.
Wow, I
God is
didn't know
good, and
all
I'm just
that.
continuing
Yes,
on the
man.
mission that He has let me have and that He has given me to minister to others and to use my platform in the arts to minister as well.
Wow, wow. Well, you look good.
Thank you. Thank you. You do too. You
I
do
try.
too.
I try. Look, I try. Well, man, we're gonna try to this is like a whole week interview, but we're gonna narrow it down, try to get as much as we can within the little hour or so, you know.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, coming on and everything. Eventually I had to hit you up, right?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate it.
Yes, most definitely. So, all right, you guys, let's go ahead. I'm gonna get this interview started like I normally do. I got a few questions for you.
Okay.
Farah, what was Farah like in elementary school?
Um, in elementary school, give me 1 second. In elementary school, um, I was a very, very inquisitive dude. Uh, and sort of bad a little bit
What?
too. Yeah, I'm sort of bad a little bit too because my dad wasn't present. So I would act out in order to try to see my father, that kind of stuff. I was raised by a very, very strong woman, single parent. My mother raised 6 kids. Yeah, and I was very, very talented. Before that, the acting and the singing and the dancing happened. The acting happened at my grandfather's church with Easter plays and stuff like that. Then the singing happened in church, and then after that, when my family would have parties and stuff, I would do the James Brown and be dancing at the parties and all that stuff. So that's basically, yeah,
Now, 6 kids, where
yeah.
did you fall in between all that?
I'm the baby.
Oh, you the baby.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
okay,
the baby.
okay. Wow. Now, what about junior high?
Junior high uh, was more so discovering where I discovered martial arts because I came from like the 6th grade into 7th grade, and Bruce Lee inspired me, seeing him in Green Hornet and Kato, and then him developing as who he was as a martial artist and a actor and stuff, and then seeing him blossom the way he did me and a bunch of my friends, we got into martial arts at that time
Mhm.
in high school, but then I still continued singing in the choir at high school. And then that was the beginning of me learning music as well,
Okay.
learning how to play the piano. And funny story, real quick, in junior high, I went through years of playing the piano, and I was one of my teachers, Willie Eva Smith, one of her at James Dimon Junior High School, San Francisco, one of her favorite pupils. But then I was able to play because I would listen and and always would want to go last in line to recite, to do the piano recital at the end of the year after we studied. So I understood eighth note, treble clef, bass clef, all that 16th note stuff, but I couldn't read and combine it as well because I had a touch of dyslexia.
Mm.
So I was late to my final recital in the ninth grade, and then my teacher was like, "Okay, it's your turn," you know, and I was late, and I didn't get to hear what it was that everyone was playing. So when I came in the room, it's like, "Oh, good, you here? You almost missed it. Hey, the sheet music is on the piano. Let's go." So I sat at the piano and I started crying.
No.
And my teacher was like, "Why are you crying? Play." And I had to tell her. I said, "I cannot really read that stuff that well. I really can't read music." She said, "Do you know what you have?" I said, "No." She said, "You have an ear for music." I said, "Oh, okay." I didn't know what that was until going on later in life. Um, and it serves me well all these years as a music producer. See, the beautiful thing about myself, I would be able to go in a recording studio, in the studio, and I sit with the engineer and I tell the engineer what I hear in my head, and they would play it for me.
Mm.
And that's how I produced a lot of music with a lot of Bay Area artists. I work with a lot of different artists in the Bay Area, and all my music is available on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, on all the platforms under my name, Farah. I have gospel, I have jazz, I have R&B, I have hip hop, and I have rap. The
Mhm.
difference between hip hop and rap, a lot of it is sort of hardcore. I don't do that anymore. That was years ago. And then the hip hop is more so mainstream mixed with R&B and stuff like that. But yeah, yeah.
So wait a minute. So you kind of skipped the part. So did you start playing the piano? That's what we like.
Yeah, I did,
Okay,
but
good.
yeah, definitely. I started playing and it was all by ear though.
So you
Everything was
listened
by
to her.
ear.
So you listened
Yeah.
to the teacher. You just started playing.
Yeah. And
Okay.
everything I did was, it was all by ear.
Mhm.
Um,
So what happened though?
like I
I'm kind
said,
of curious. So when you was you was crying and then she said that to you, you started playing. So what was the outcome? Were people
it was
clapping?
sort of a struggle for me
Uh,
to play what I was trying to play because I didn't get to hear it played by
mhm.
someone else.
Gotcha.
But I struggled through it, and she admired me for it.
Mhm.
Uh, and she told me what I had and explained it to me that a lot of musicians, like Michael Jackson didn't read music.
Mm,
Michael Jackson would have people play what he heard in his head. Quincy Jones was the one that produced Thriller. See, we got to remember that. And
mhm,
a lot of the other songs, Michael would write lyrics to songs, but when he started doing music to some of his songs, it was like the way that I produce music, sitting down with an engineer. I want the beat to go boom, boom, boom. And they would, I mimic it, they do it. I want my violins, dun, 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 dun. They do it. I want my clap like, and they do it. You know, so that's why when they try to make the comparison with Michael and Prince, no, they're two separate people. They both were immaculate and fantastic entertainers, but the separation goes when the creativity happens because Prince played over 17 instruments. And Prince early albums, he did the whole album himself, background vocals, lead vocals, everything.
I remember that.
So
Hmm.
that's the difference between them two. But I don't never compare them. They were both fantastic in their own right, and I love both of them. So I keep them in their separate places. I don't never try to put one against the other because no, you can't do
Yes,
that.
yes, there's no way. So what was Farah like in high school?
Oh, high school, oh, man. I miss all my school years, so I'm glad you're asking because it's bringing back a lot of stuff. Now, junior high, I coming out of there when they do the yearbook, I was in there as best dancer,
Okay.
even though I did my music thing, you know, but I was a heck of a dancer. So me and I still remember the young lady that was with me. Me and Cassandra Goodman were tagged as best dancers. So um, summertime, going from junior high and about to go to high school, um, I had a summer, got connected with summer jobs through United Projects at the African American Center for Arts in Fillmore with Jim Larkin and Danny Duncan. That's where I first met, and Danny's my mentor up to this day.
Mhm.
He just turned 80. He'll be 81 this year. But that's when I first met him. I was about 13 years old. And the beautiful thing about the programs that was at a lot of the theaters at that time was, you know, you can get a summer job. And our summer job was good. The outcome was going to be a stage play. So then we had to learn acting, singing, dancing, and then we got casted in these roles where we had to be a triple threat, an actor, singer, and dancer. And the outcome from the summer was a stage play.
Mhm.
So my high school, going into high school, I coming from the summer, working with Danny Duncan, world renowned playwright, excuse me, writer, producer, director, and choreographer. Um, he also, I went into high school at Balboa High School, and then Danny was working with the director over the creative arts department, drama department, and all of that, Miss Yvonne McClung. Danny was working with him. So then here it is, I myself, Cindy Heron from the group In Vogue is like a sister of mine. Her sister, Cammie Heron,
Mhm.
is like a sister of mine as well. So we, me and Cindy and Cammie went to Balboa High School. So we here it is. Danny Duncan was there again, and so I got in with the dance company there first, Orchestra's dance company. Danny was one of the choreographers and teachers and directors of that. Yvonne McClung was the director. So got in with that, and then I started doing acting classes and stuff with Yvonne McClung, Miss McClung. So then my singing improved. Mr. Withers was our choir teacher in high school. So then I started taking choir. And then I developed all my skills as an actor, singer, and dancer. And then I started doing the plays that was there at high school, and then kept doing plays like at the Bayview Opera House and different parts of the city honing my craft in high school. And then the beautiful thing, when I was in high school, I started doing choreography for all the fashion shows we did in high school. I did Lincoln High School, Balboa High School, Lowell High School. And then that developed me as a choreographer and a person putting together fashion shows. And then all of that blossomed from there. Oh my God.
Wow, wow, wow. Now we got to give a shout out to Mama Mac.
Yes, definitely.
She is
Definitely.
watching. She's most definitely. She said the amazing Mr. Dews. So,
Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
yeah.
Yeah, she is very, very talented as well. She worked with me on the Bishop movie,
Yep. Mhm.
and she was an associate producer on that film, which T-Mac starred in. And that
Yes.
movie wouldn't have been what it was without her pulling in a lot of resources for that movie as an associate producer.
Yeah.
And then her son, T-Mac, man, starring in it, man, he was magnificent. He played the role that was close to, because the movie is loosely based on my life. He played the character that was me
Mhm.
growing up, and he did a phenomenal job. And I wanted to work with him, more and more and more, and definitely was going to,
Mhm.
and we miss him. We miss him a lot,
Absolutely.
awful lot.
Absolutely. I remember when all that was going on and everything, because I think that was his first movie role. I'm think I'm when I'm
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so. I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, but no, yes. Rest in peace, my nephew, Torian,
Yes,
love, he left with his mama Mac. Now we gotta
yes,
keep her in line.
yes.
Yeah, we gotta keep her in line. Oh, so you're such a jack of all trades. So you already like went over so much and how you got started in acting, singing, learned that you was a dancer and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, let's talk about, how did you become like a writer? And what was your first project?
Oh, okay. I got to go back with my mentor once again, Danny Duncan. My dad was not present in my life. So my mom raised all of us. And when I went and told my mom, my brothers, hey, we need football cleats, we need this, we need that. And my sister got into modeling, and then, one of my other brothers modeling. I went to my mom and said, I need some dance shoes. I need some dance shoes. And my mother didn't frown upon that. She supported it because it was ballet shoes that I wanted.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah. I said, Mommy, I need some shoes. I need ballet shoes. I need a dance belt and I need some tights. And then my mom was like, okay, now what you getting off into now? And so thank God for Bayview Opera House and theaters like that, and African American Center for the Art and Culture Theater, because I was able to work with like John Pascalati, choreographer, world-renowned choreographer, and dance at Bayview Opera House. Delroy Lindo was our acting teacher in the summers, you see. So we had individuals like that. One of the first plays I seen was A Raisin in the Sun with Danny Glover,
Mhm.
at African American Center for the Arts. So I wanted to be like him, but I my mentor, who's still my mentor up to this day, I loved how he got down. I said, man, this dude is a writer, he's a playwright, he's a director, he a producer, he a choreographer, and then I had found out that he was a heck of an actor and singer. He worked with Ozzie Davis and Ruby Dee in New York. He was a wonderful dancer and stuff and choreographer in New York. So that's was my role model. I said, God, man, I wish I could do all of that. So what I did was um, one of the early pieces and plays I did with him was called Sister Girl. Uh, and I seen and I would ask Danny questions on writing and how he did this and that. And then uh, from there, he would tell me how he structured the scripts and different things like that because I had a hard time. I suffered from a touch of dyslexia, which I kind of outgrew, and it bothers me every now and then, but I kind of outgrew it. So I had a struggle with that. That's why I really didn't like writing. But then, when Danny explained it to me, and then I started doing more productions with him, you know, uh, um, like Samson and Delilah, the stage play, you know, we, breaking down the characters, putting the business in the script, defining the characters. Danny kind of taught me all that before I went to school, and start studying a little bit more in high school and then college and all that. But I learned how to do all what I am from him. And then I just improved upon it and I became a professional at it.
Wow, wow. Now, what about, you remember your first time you directed? How did you get into being a director?
Yeah. Um, and I'll say, I gotta say, this is crazy. My boy Bobby Frazier would back me up on this one, man. Um, this is crazy. I lived in the projects in Bayview Hunters Point, and my first putting something together, I was eight, 9 years old. I actually had the wherewithal to put together. My mama had the film thing, and that's when there was no sound to it. You could just film stuff, the little 8 millimeter cameras, 16
Yeah.
8 millimeter things. And I was smart enough uh, to film me and my friends dancing and jiving around and talking and film it and then take a tape recorder and tape what we were saying. And my mama popped popcorn, put up a sheet in the projects, and we would watch the little films I made.
What?
That was actually the start of it. So then when I grew into my own, I was probably I lived in Bayview with my dad, part-time in Lakeview with my mom. In Lakeview with my mom, I'm about 12 years old. I worked with my friend Bobby Frazier, 12, 13. That's when Bruce Lee came about. And we started making karate movies. And I was so smart and we were smart. I used ketchup for blood.
That was
And that was another one uh, uh, that at that time, kind of like coordinating and directing and putting everything together, me and my friend Bobby Frazier. And he laughs about that up to this day. And he says he still got one of those. He said, man, I still got one. It's kind of blurry and kind of messed up, man, but I still got one of them. Uh, and it just would have to be transferred off a reel onto something. But yeah, that was the development of all of that right there, of that directing and all that. And then it sprung from my my first real script of writing where I really knew I had something. It ended up being a short film, and it ended up winning my second Black Filmmakers Hall of Fame award for me. It was called Prison Life or Life Without. That was my first crack at doing the script. And I was blessed because I was innovative enough to make it a stage play and a film. And I got blessed at the time because I ended up, uh, I'll try to go through this really quick. I ended up doing choreography and fashion choreography first.
Hmm.
And I ended up, because Danny did fashion choreography and Gregory Burrell also, a protege of Danny's and good friend of mine. So then I got into doing fashion shows and stuff. So I worked with Dr. Annette Shelton. She did hair. And so she was doing hair shows. So then I would coordinate her hair shows for her. And I started doing choreography with the models and putting that together. And then I got blessed. I was also a dresser. I was going to City College at the time, and I was taking fashion merchandising and designing. And then Miss Green, she would get us hired working for I Magnums and Macy's and all that. So we would work behind the scenes with the models and all that kind of stuff. Well, real quick, I'll tell you this story real quick. I was on stage jiving around. Um, you know where San Francisco, the square is in San Francisco, where I Magnums and all that was,
Mhm.
where all the stores was at the time.
Mhm.
Okay, I Magnums and then Macy's. They had a Macy's. It was a smaller Macy's over there before the larger Macy's on Market. Well, I was driving around on stage. We was taking a break, and Ferragamo, the designer, was there. He was Italian, and he had a interpreter with him. And so I didn't know it at the time, but the coordinator for the show didn't make it there. And they seen me driving around on stage. I thought I was in trouble. But he said, he called me, wanted to meet with me. I said, oh my God, Miss Green gonna be mad at me. I'm finna get fired. But no, he said, can you do some of what you was doing on stage with the models and rehearse with them and make a show out of it because the coordinator didn't make it. I got bumped up from production crew to, and that was my first introduction as a professional choreographer. And then for about 30 years, I was one of the number one fashion show producer, director, choreographers in the Bay Area. I did fashion shows at every hotel and every venue that you can name. So
Wow.
then once I went from there, I went into acting professionally and I got blessed because I became the artistic director of the Bayview Opera House in San Francisco in 1990. And I was there from 1990 to 1997. And then at the same time, doing the professional fashion shows, I started doing stage plays there. And my first, I worked with Audrey Jones Oliver, and I did Mothers at a Hood with her. And then I developed a play for my sister called Hard Life of a Ghetto Girl. I developed the script and developed and I did the directing and producing of that. And then that let me bring out Prison Life or Life Without. I did that as a musical stage play at the Bayview Opera House. And then we got grant funding from the city, and I was able to pay everybody, and we were able to do Prison Life or Life Without as a short film, and that won me my second Black Filmmakers Hall of Fame award.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, you man. And I was gonna ask you, you like since you're one of six kids, how did your siblings support support you? Like when you was young,
Oh,
did they kind of tease you what you was doing and then
no, no, no. Actually, they were very, very supportive.
yeah.
They were at everything I did. When
Okay.
I was young coming up, they was my family was my whole backbone. They were at every single thing that I did. My
Okay.
mom was my number one fan. She passed in 2006, but my mom was my number one fan. She didn't miss nothing. My
Mhm.
mother came to everything that I did. And then my brothers, a couple of them, my brother Keith and my brother Barry, they were in some of the stage plays that I did acting and singing. And then I got blessed. I put together a singing group with me and my brothers. It was our last name, which I'm gonna use that for something again. I don't know what, but the group was called DEWS,
Uh-huh.
Doing Everything with Style.
Oh,
It was an R&B group. We recorded two songs under that name. It was one song back then. I was innovative again. I had created a recording studio in 1990, and it was unheard of, really, that a lot of people had personal recording studios that were Black.
mhm.
Not a lot of, famous Black people, yeah, but I'm talking about local community people. Not a lot of them had recording studios. So I had a recording studio. So one of my first albums was a soundtrack to the independent film and the stage play, Prison Life for Life Without. And then doing everything with style, we had two songs off that soundtrack.
Mhm.
And then later on, my one of my other brothers, Barry, and I formed a group called 190, and we got signed to Warner Brothers. We
Oh.
were distributed by Warner Brothers. R&B music is on every platform. The album was called Floss Mode. And real quick, I gotta I gotta give a shout out to Sheila E. They had a club called Escovedo's in Oakland. A good friend of hers, Royce, was a good friend of mine. And for my birthday, Royce was like, "Man, I'm gonna take you to Escovedo's." I said, "Yeah, let's go." So we there, and he knew how much I love me some Sheila E. So he was like, "Hey, Farah, Sheila gonna be playing tonight." I'm like, "Cool." So we in the VIP, and we kicking it, waiting up for the band and everybody and Escobedo family to come on. And he said, "Man, tell us the story again. How much you like Sheila E." So I was telling the story how I had her poster out, her album on my wall when I was young.
Uh,
And and how much I
The Love Bizarre poster.
yes. And I was telling them how much I loved her. He said, "Hey, Farah, turn around." She was standing behind me and she heard it all.
Oh my,
I was speechless.
oh my
She
goodness.
said, "Oh, thank you so much." I said, "Oh my God, can I take a photo with you? Could I have your autograph?" So from there, I said, "Man, Sheila, I'm really talented. I sing." And she said, "Okay, I'm going to give you information with Warner Brother Records." And the guy was Wally Roker. Wally Roker,
Hmm.
he passed recently in 2017. He's Al Roker's cousin, the weatherman.
Hmm.
And so I kept that. I don't contact people not unless I need to. I'm not one of them people that just just because you got a contact with somebody, I'm calling them for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I kept that contact for a few years and the information to Warner Brothers. And a situation came about. I was at Ricardo Scales' party when he lived in up towards Oakland Hills. It was his birthday party, and so I met Wally Roker. And Wally Roker, I didn't know he was with an R&B doo-wop group back in the day. And he had been in the music industry for many years, had major contacts. He was working with Ricardo Scales.
Yeah.
So I sung at the birthday party. Like, man, you can sing, da da da. I said, man, I'm working on some material for an album, da da da. And I was gonna get in touch with Warner Brothers. He said, man, I'm with Warner Brothers. And then that started the whole thing. And I give that to Sheila E. of me contacting and getting that whole thing going, and and then getting a distribution deal with Warner Brothers. Back then they had Virgin Records. My music was in Virgin Records, Tower Records, Amoebas,
Oh my
all
goodness.
across the
Yes,
board.
yes, yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are the days. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, have you kept in contact with Sheila E?
No, I wish I could have,
Okay.
but back then Sheila career was getting hot, and then from there, explosion.
Yeah, because
And
I
then
think
even
she's back in the Bay, right?
yeah,
Yeah, she's
yeah,
doing a
but
lot of stuff.
you know, I gave her a shout out a few different times,
Mhm.
and I hit her up, social media wise, and told her that I will never forget what she did for me.
Mhm.
You know, um, yeah, but I wish that I could kind of like get in touch, in touch, but hey, you never know what God's gonna do.
Yeah, right. So let's go ahead now, man. So you really went through, the acting and stuff. Let's kind of shift real quick to how did you get into, producing music and who have you worked with?
Oh my God. Okay. Now, my mentor from afar is George Clinton from Parliament.
Yes.
That's my mentor from afar. It was the 70s, 1975, and
Hmm.
I fell in love with Funkadelic,
Hmm.
and all their stuff, Maggot Brain, and all this, all the stuff that they was coming with. And then, Parliament, and then just Bootsy's Rubber Band. When I was in high school, my mama made me a leather suit like Bootsy. I wore my hair like Bootsy. I had star glasses and platform shoes. They gave me the nickname Bootsy when I was in high school.
Uh-huh.
But George Clinton is the reason why I produce music. Um,
Hmm.
I got off into music, and like I said, I built my own recording studio. So my first recording studio was in Lakeview, San Francisco. Then the second one was in Bayview, Hunters Point. My third recording studio was in Jack London Square. So my career evolved. I worked with artists like Cool Nut, as far as rapping, Ballhead Rick, the group UNLV. Um, then I worked with Shock G from Digital Underground.
Rest in peace.
Um, uh, Man, the list is San Quinn, Turf Talk, Big Rich,
Mhm.
Young Lot, Conscious Daughters, Sugar T.
Yes. Shout out to Sugar.
Um, it just and did a song, was blessed to do a song with Sonny Fairley, jazz song called Cali Love. Cali Love is on the soundtrack for my movie, my upcoming movie. And man, the list just go on and on. I did a gospel song with Cindy Herron's sister, Cammie Herron, called Holy Spirit. That song is in heavy rotation on 88.1 Power Station in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Uh, I'm trying to remember who else, because it was just, it's been a lot of folks.
So did you produce for Turf Talk or what did you actually do with Turf and
Yeah, oh
San
yeah,
Quentin?
I produced
Okay.
a song. That song made it on the soundtrack for my movie called Hood Pretty. I
Mhm.
have a movie called Hood Pretty, inspired by Raquel Miller, the WBA super welterweight boxing champion.
Mhm.
Um, uh, We Got 'Em is the name of the song, and that particular song's on that soundtrack for that movie. That movie won the West Coast Hip Hop Awards
Mhm.
uh, Top Star Film Award in the film category for that movie. And that particular movie, Cindy Herron from In Vogue is in it. She does the voiceover for the film. And then Rob Best, the R&B singer, he's in it. He plays a character in it. Anastasia, the R&B singer, she's in it. Jonas Kane is also acting in the movie, the actress. And then Raquel Miller makes a special guest appearance in the movie as well. I'm working on streaming and distribution for it as we speak.
Mhm.
But yeah, um,
I notice a lot of people like with Sugar and stuff, like actually put them in in your movies also, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you got
Sugar,
something coming on with Fillmore Slim. I had a chance to meet Fillmore Slim when he performed at a friend of mine's birthday party out here in Sacramento, Rio Linda. You know, he was such a cool guy. I
yeah,
even took a
Sugar,
picture with him. Yeah.
yeah, man, Slim, that's my man.
He can
Man,
still play, boy, he can still play and sing. Boy, he
yeah.
is dope.
I'm gonna touch on Sugar right quick. Sugar, and 40 them. That's my cousins.
Okay.
Yeah, Sugar. That's why but that's why Sugar was in a lot of stuff because I worked with Sugar back in the day, and I did staging and some choreography and stuff with her. And
Mhm.
then Sugar, she was in a movie I did called Three Street Anywhere USA.
Mhm.
That particular Three Street won me my, which one was that? That was the Three Street won Black Filmmakers Hall of Fame Award. Um, and then Three Street also is a soundtrack featuring Sugar T as well. And she also she made a special guest appearance in the movie. Um, and so we always trade off doing things for each other.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, coming up to speed um, uh, to Pink Diamond's movie, how that came about and got started. I went to a meeting a couple years ago, and as a filmmaker, it was a meeting of some Black filmmakers from the Bay Area, and it was uh, with Fillmore Slim as manager, and then some other producing folks.
Mhm.
Well, Fillmore was going to do a movie about his life story, and Snoop Dogg was going to play him.
Oh.
And it was an older gentleman that was with Universal Music and Films that was producing the whole thing. Unfortunately, he passed away. And so the project it kind of went away. But the beautiful thing, I started talking with Slim because my sister back in the day was good friends with one of his daughters. And
Mhm.
so I had knew Fillmore, but I didn't know him personally like that, So he and I got to conversing and talking, and he gave me a copy of his book and he autographed it. I said, "Man, I'm gonna read this." And I started reading it while we were there. And before we left, I said, "Man, Slim, what do you think about your life story being a Broadway style stage play?" He said, "Man, I ain't never thought of nothing like that." I said, "Man, you know what? You got a hell of a story. I'm gonna write your story. I'm gonna write a Broadway style stage play about your life." He's like, "You ain't gonna do that." I said, "Yes, I am. Let me get your number. Give me your manager number. I got you." So I wrote it. It took about a year. Got in touch with Slim. I said, "Slim, I'm gonna send it to you. Tell me what you think." I sent it to him and his manager, blew their mind. They was like, "Oh my God." I said, "Slim, the reason why I admire you so much is because different people admire that pimp stuff, but I like you because I read your book and I know your story, and you left that pimp stuff alone at like 26, 27 years old,
Mm,
and you end up becoming what you wanted to be initially, which was a musician. See,
mm,
he got discovered by a lady when he was in New Orleans, and he was young man, and got into being a gentleman of leisure, as they called it back then. And then it developed to him coming to the Bay Area to Fillmore. The rest is history. But he changed his life after incarceration.
mm,
And can you imagine? He 91 years old from 27 to 91 and having 12 albums and performing at every jazz event across the whole world, the jazz festivals in Monterey, in New Orleans, in New York, and he's still performing all across the world. And that's what got me to him. And so we did it. I did Legend of Fillmore Slim story in 2023 at the Bayview Opera House, sold out audience. And it was unique because in 1 week I did Slim's stage play musical one Saturday. The following Saturday was the red carpet premiere of Hood Pretty, the movie about inspired by the WBS super welterweight boxing champion Raquel Miller. Both events were sold out in 1 week.
wow.
And then that led me to Pink Diamonds because Slim was like, I had him honored by the city and all of that. And he was like, man, let me tell you something. Man, you really, really looked out for me, Farah. Man, I made more money getting paid from this production with you than I made from a whole lot of people. I said, man, right on, Slim. He said, what you got going next, man? Because he came to the movie premiere. He was like, boy, you a bad dude. I already knew you was a bad dude with them stage plays. Man, you a bad dude with these movies and this music, man.
Mm,
So I said, I got a script. I wrote it in 2010, but God blessed me to do so much other stuff. I put Pink Diamonds on the shelf.
mm,
So I was like praying. God said it's time to take it off the shelf. I said, Slim, I got a movie called Pink Diamonds, and it's a character in there. He like the Black Godfather. I said, man, you would be good at that, man. He said, you know what? That sounds good. Send me the script. He read the script. He said, okay, this dynamite right here. I'm gonna work with you with this. Try to work around my schedule. I
mm,
said, Slim, I'm gonna work around whatever schedule you got. I'm gonna work around it. And God blessed us, man, and we got a jewel. I did the entire soundtrack, me and my protege.
mm,
His name is Tony Jazzo. We did the whole soundtrack to the movie. The movie is a combination with the feel. It's like a salute to Gordon Parks and a salute to the movie The Mac, Superfly, and Shaft. Those movies of that era. The movie is set Pink Diamonds in modern day times today, but when you see it, it has that feel to it, and we got an all-star cast. It's starring Fillmore Slim, but the guy who played Fillmore Slim in the musical stage play Legend of Fillmore Slim story, his real godson, Cam Rail, and he's a performer and rapper. He played him in the play. He in the movie playing Fillmore godson. So it's starring Fillmore Slim, Cam Rail, Nellie Chanel, Gemma, Alicia Smith, Carmela, Jackie Robinson, and Jeanette May, plus another host of all-star actors, all from the Bay Area.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful movie, and I'm praying because uh, God is so good, and I'm embarking on distribution for my films. You know, I have some jewels. Of course, The Bishop, you know, based on my life story. I have that in the can. Then I have Hood Pretty. The Bishop won the Equality International Film Festival Producer Award and Trailblazer Award. So thank God, you know, with Miss Monica uh, uh, and T Mac, Mama Mac, them, and all the people that worked on The Bishop.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful movie. It needs to be streamed and distributed. So I have The Bishop. I have Hood Pretty with the WBA Super Welterweight Boxing Champ. And then I have another movie that I did with my good friend, Lenny Williams. It's
Okay.
called No More Violence, No More Pain.
Mhm.
The movie with Lenny Williams got Lenny Williams, Turf Talk, San Quinn,
Mhm.
Big Rich, um, Infamous, the rapper out of Oakland.
Mhm.
Uh, they all star in that movie, so that movie's on deck for streaming distribution. And then we come to the fourth movie, which is Pink Diamonds. So you know, I've been sitting back and praying for the right, because you don't make no money off streaming. You know, this is for everybody out there. This message right here. If you're in the music industry or entertainment industry or the film industry and you think you're going to get rich, I got a message for you. Get out. You got to be in this stuff because you love it. All the arts and stuff I've been doing my whole life. I have a career that spans over 50 years. If you go back, matter of fact, 52 years, if you go back to when I was 13 years old. So all the entertainment stuff is really like 15, 52 years, professionally 40 years. If you in it thinking you're getting money, you're not. I just want to get the streaming because it makes you more visual as an artist.
Mhm.
Just like streaming music, there's no money in it,
Mhm.
but I have a library of music and it just makes you more visual to have your stuff on every platform as an artist. As so if you work with somebody else, they say, well, who have you worked with? Hey, go ahead and go look at who on streaming and check out some of the artists I work with. That's what that is for. Same thing for streaming movies. If you can get the movies streamed on Tubi, get them streamed on Netflix or any of the platforms out there, if someone comes, hey man, I heard you doing movies, blah blah blah. Work it. Well, go to so and so Tubi or Netflix or Hulu or one of them, and my movie is on there now. It just gives you more credibility as an artist.
Mhm.
So God is good. I got a whole package. I got 4 movies ready to go in the can, and I'm just praying for the right streaming people to come along so that I could just stream them.
So they can't be, where can they be seen though? Like any
Not they can't be seen anywhere right now.
okay.
The only one I'm having a premiere for Pink Diamonds at the African American Center of Art and Culture in San Francisco. It's
Okay.
coming. It's gonna come April the 11th, Saturday, April 11th, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the heart of Fillmore at Fillmore and Webster at
Okay.
the African American Culture Art and Culture Center. I'm
Mhm.
doing it in Fillmore because Fillmore is from Fillmore. So I'm like, I want to honor my brother.
Mhm.
You know, like we got had him honored before at the Bayview Opera House,
Mhm.
but I want to honor him again at the African American Center for the Arts in Fillmore,
Mhm.
and it's going to be a gala with refreshments and food, And then, people going to be able to meet the cast, crew, and all of us, take photos, all of that. Then go into the theater, see the movie. And then after the movie, there's going to be a Q&A where people could talk to me, the cast, and everybody about the making of the film. And
Oh,
so after that, I'm praying that all my works can be streamed, and then that everybody can get to see all these different projects and films. Um, I have another stage play, God willing, that the Lord let me write, because I have to say this, my mentor, working with him all the way since junior high, all the way to high. And then once I got in college, I kept doing plays and productions. I got and turned into a professional actor, singer, dancer. I danced with Orchestra's dance company, and then I started doing plays. I did Once on This Island at Theater Works Theater Company in the Bay Area, which was simulcast on Channel 9 at the time. And then I got with Danny Duncan, and I got blessed. I went on the road doing the off Broadway stage play, Ain't Misbehaving, Columbia, California, some other places with ACT Theater, and then with Lorraine Hansberry Theater, San Francisco, and I was able to retire from acting and singing with Danny, my mentor. Ain't that something?
wow.
Uh, and so that was a beautiful thing to be able to do that. And now I do stage plays. I've been doing King Tut for 30 years. I
Mm,
just did the 30th year anniversary celebration of the musical stage play King Tut at the Black Repertory Theater in Berkeley. We just had 6 shows last year. We
wow.
did 6 shows last summer, and
Mm,
almost all the shows were sold out.
yeah.
And it's registered with the Library of Congress as a historical stage play. I had been doing that play on and off for 30 years at the Bayview Opera House, at the Black Repertory Theater, and we did it at the D. Young Museum. My dream is to take it to Las Vegas. But my new other project that I'm coming with, God Say the Same, me doing Ain't Misbehaving, uh, I was praying to God. I love the music. I love the era. And, Ain't Misbehaving is a tribute to Fats Waller
Yeah.
and his music, 1930s, 1940s, 1950s. So I was like, God, you know what? I wish I could do something like that. So the Lord blessed me, and I wrote a stage play called Backstage Blues. If you can imagine, praise God, Billie Holiday, Ma Rainey, Bessie Smith, and Fats Waller in one Broadway style musical. They are all powerhouses in their own rights, got movies and plays and stuff about them. Nobody put them all together in one play, but I did. And
Wow.
Backstage Blues is a story of pain and fame. And the beautiful thing, when I would watch productions and I would go to musical stage plays up to this day, I always wonder what is going on backstage with the actors, singers, and the dancers. What are they doing when they get prepared to come out to present what they're presenting to us? Well, Backstage Blues, you're going to see it all. You're
Mm.
going to see when they backstage, when Ma Rainey tell them, let me
Oh,
tell you something. Baby, I don't go on stage till I get all my money while she holding on her gun and sipping on some gin.
right. Oh my God. That,
You know,
wow.
when Billy backstage and we telling the truth, see, Lady Sings the Blues was good, but it didn't go deep enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
See, Billie Holiday was married to a guy that was a notorious drug dealer in New York. And he was also her manager. And he was like a pimp. He
Mm.
would collect her money and let her perform and wouldn't give her a taste, come on now, of that heroin. He didn't like her having it before she performed, but afterwards he would let her have some. We're
Mm,
gonna see her real story with him backstage. We're gonna see the story with Fats Waller
mm.
backstage. How Fats he eat too much and he loved too much liquor and he loved women. So
Wow.
everybody's gonna see Bessie Smith backstage. How Bessie Smith and what her love life was really about. Bessie Smith liked men and women.
Mm.
Hello.
Wow,
Here,
okay. So what? So you working on that one?
I no, I wrote it, and my godfather Ray Bell, he's sort of retired now, but a lot of people know him in the Bay Area. He's a concert promoter, manager, producer of groups like 5.0 and then Grand Theft. And
Mm,
then he worked with a lot of people, Grady Wilkins and Larry White. They got signed to the Whispers, and they were with the Whispers for many, many years because Ray Bell managed those guys and got them with the Whispers. And then Ray's brother Elgin played drums for 30 years with the Whispers. That's my godfather. He's
mm,
also my associate producer. So
mm,
he and I are talking now because we're trying to see the best place to where to bring this story about. So that's where we are right now with that. Because a lot of the theaters in the Bay Area after COVID, they have lost their minds.
mm,
I got a pretty good deal doing King Tut, doing 6 shows at the Black Repertory Theater in Berkeley, and it went over well. But I want Backstage Blues. I want it to be. I wish I could do it in San Francisco,
mm.
because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
And then I've always done stuff in Berkeley, San Francisco, Oakland, Richmond. That was my core. Those are my core audiences. Hayward, those are all my people all up in there. Um, so kind of like going outside of that realm. Some people, oh, you should do a render theater or you should do the Bow Theater in San Leandro. Well, I'm not really with going outside of my radius of my bubble
Mhm.
of my core audience of people. So right now, I'm looking within those cities, my cities, to see where I can do Backstage Blues. Because, baby, when it go up, a lot of older people, I'm a senior now too, a senior citizen. A
Yeah.
lot of us older
Both
folk,
are.
woo, they gonna come with their mink coats on and furs, baby. They gonna come in with best dress. Backstage Blues is their era.
Mhm.
Like my godfather, it's his era. He's turning 80 years old this year.
Wow.
That was his era, man. So that play, I gotta do it more than once or twice.
Mhm.
I like King Tut. I had to do it for the 30th year anniversary celebration. I had to do 6 shows because some people was coming back. They was like, I'm coming back to see that, and I'm bringing my friend because that's a historical stage play. King Tut is so good. I pray that God let me maybe one day take it to Vegas. But anyway, um, I'm hoping to do Backstage Blues somewhere in the Bay Area, preferably the city of San Francisco. I can't do it at the African American Center for the Arts in San Francisco, where we're having the premiere of Pink Diamond's movie,
Mhm.
because they're going to be shutting their doors and the city is closing the building for retrofitting in October.
Oh,
So
wow.
I wouldn't have enough time to get the play together, promote the play, and do it. I wish I could do it there. I
Mhm.
was thinking about trying to do Backstage Blues there, but we'll see. It'll be crunch time if I decide, me and my godfather decide to do it there. We'll see. We'll
Wow.
see.
Now, do you know I think you might know my sister-in-law, Michelle Turner, Michelle and Joe
Yeah,
Turner,
I know that name. I know Michelle Turner.
Michelle McLaurin Turner.
I know that name. I know
Yeah,
that name.
Yeah, they do. In fact, she has like a where she finds actors and stuff for people and everything,
Oh,
like
okay.
the agency, like a talent agency. Yeah,
And where is
she's a
she Is
comedian.
she in
She's
Oakland?
um she's from San Francisco, but I forgot where they live now. But she's a comedian also, and
Okay.
they have a talent agency and stuff.
Oh,
So
that's beautiful. I need to get her contact because
most definitely, I'll send it to you. Yeah,
I got a lot of talented people. I would love to shoot her and send them our way.
okay, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I'll go ahead and then yeah, you guys can network and everything. So I'll send you her phone number and everything.
Yeah.
So man, I learned a lot, Woo boy, I'm telling you, you like a 5 hour show. You got so many.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Now, a couple things before I end this. Me and you was talking before we went live, about the changes, when I said when I had to carry all the equipment and stuff. What do you
Yeah.
think about all this new technology with movies, the AI, all the new stuff? How are you adapting? First of all, adapting to it because I'm gonna be 59. Sometimes a little bit hard, like, wait a minute, what is this stuff going?
Yeah.
How did you adapt to it and what do you think about all these
Yeah,
things?
and I'm a senior citizen now. I'm going to be 65 this year.
Okay, well, we
And
look forward
God blessed me to
to that.
retire from my 9 to 5 stuff, being part of the criminal justice system, running a violence prevention and health education programs, starting under Willie Brown, under Kamala Harris, and all them. And for many years, being an artistic director at Juvenile Hall, San Francisco, and then having a program for 25 years for health arts and violence prevention with the Sheriff's Department in San Francisco, 850 Bryant in San Bruno County Jail. Now I'm retired from that and I'm full fledged, thank God, into the arts now. This is my thoughts behind it. Um, it's a two-way thing. Now, not having to lug equipment around and all that, I love that. And I love the way that cameras are compact now. We shoot 4K, 8K, 6K. The resolution is beautiful. Um, and so that process, the editing process, it all has evolved because we came from splicing tape and putting tape together and all that way back in the day. All the way from, like I said, 8 millimeter, 16 millimeter beta tape, videotape, all that stuff. So with that part of the filming stuff and editing and all of that, I love that. Um, the part that is taking away, as far as I'm gonna flip over to music right quick. The traditional way of recording in recording studios is dying. A good friend of mine, I'll plug him real quick, is Larry Jazz. He's a music producer, artist, and stuff. He worked with a bunch of people, musical director for Confunction, a lot of different groups. Um, he's been working with Tyler Perry Studios for about 5 years now. He does the music and sound for a lot of the shows, all the Queen's Men Sisters, the movies that Tyler do, all that stuff. He's a good friend of mine. We grew up together. He and I are going to team up, God willing, this year, and we are going to be able to keep the arts going, the traditional arts, uh, uh, with recording in recording studios. But I have a protege, Tony Jazzo. He's like my son that I work with. I'm bringing him in. He's bringing the AI, and me and my partner, we gonna bring the traditional way of recording studios. Now, let me say this: I have a good friend of mine that works with Motown. He is the director of Universal Motown Music, and he's also the executive director of the Alumni Association with Motown, Billy Wilson. And so Billy was telling me on the phone that Beyonce, um, Taylor Swift, all of those kind of artists, the big name artists, Cardi B, all of them, they use AI. That's why they can put out albums so fast. They don't do the traditional way, where I come from, sitting down at a keyboard constructing and compiling a song, getting who you want to sing it, and from the background that you wrote, having the background recorded, perfected, the vocals, lead vocals recorded, perfected, the song mixed down. There you go. AI does this. You just tell AI what song you want to do. I want do a song called "I Love You," an R&B song, and I wanted to say this. Man, AI write the whole song, and then the AI program. You go in there and you tell them this, the program, the song. The AI creates the song, and then you could go in AI and tell them, "I want a female voice, male voice, whatever you want. I want the background like this." AI create the whole thing. So that part right there, not happy with. It's an artist. Right now, I forget her name. She's an AI artist. They just gave her a multi-million dollar record deal
That's what I
because she
heard. That's what I
created,
heard.
yeah, she created these AI music videos and a dynamite album, and she got millions of streams from the album. So they giving her a multi-million dollar record deal. But the bad thing is now she gonna have to go get musicians to learn it if she gonna go on tour. And then she gonna have to learn the songs herself. AI done took over. So in that vein, I don't like it for the music side, but for the film making side, I love it. But now, the only place I don't like it at, I go and I take a Word document that's blank. And from me studying, learning from like my mentor, Danny Duncan, and going to Laney College first, learning, going to City College, learning filmmaking and writing, screenwriting. I take a blank canvas and I put all my stuff in there. Like when I wrote Pink Diamonds, I put camera angles and everything in that thing, and the business and the. I went crazy on that script. That was about 15 years ago. But the way I write now, I don't put all that in there. I don't need my camera angles because I already know how I want to shoot stuff when I get to directing it and doing what I do. So I go all the way from scratch. Well, AI writes everything. There's no creativity in that. That's why I'm not taking nothing from nobody, but big production houses like a Tyler Perry, like Paramount Pictures, like 20th Century Fox, they write movies so fast because they're using AI.
Mhm.
And AI will develop the scene for you. I need a scene with a cop and he gets shot by a thug. AI write the whole scene, dialogue, everything.
Well, you know that song, and I be jamming all the time. You heard it, letting go of the bullshit. When I heard, you heard that song, right?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's all over the thing. I don't know if this is gonna be loud enough. Can you hear
Yeah.
it? That's AI.
I only can hear a little.
Let me say.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll
I'm
look it up.
telling you. Wait, let me see. I when I found out it was an AI artist, I was like, wait a minute. So this is not even a real person,
No,
and
no,
it's called AI for culture.
let me tell you something. My youngster, Tony Jazzo, he went to school and all that, and he produces traditional way like me and my boy Larry Jazz. But now he's learned AI. He played a trick on me. He played me a song. I'm like, nah, Tony, you produced that song, dude. Dude, man, no, no, no. That's a hit record. who is the girl on there, man? We need to get behind her and produce her. He said, that song is hot on Farah. I said, yeah. He said, Farah, that's AI.
That's
I
crazy.
said, hell no. He said, Farah, I'm telling you, blood, I produced that song. It's AI. I said, okay. So, like I said, me and Larry talking, and we're both from San Francisco. We both have made it pretty good in our careers. So we're trying to look for a nonprofit organization out in Frisco to team up with so we could put a studio in that place and that we could for free. I don't want no money. For free, twice a week, we're gonna volunteer our time and we're gonna teach. I'm gonna have my boy teach AI to the youngsters that want that. And to the ones that want the traditional way, we're going to teach them the business of music, how to make it in music, how to get distribution, everything from scratch all the way up for free.
See? And then, it's so funny that some of the stuff I've been posting, like my real estate stuff, I learned that you could take like a flyer and put in Chat GPT and say, give me a prompt. Then you take it over. Then I take it over to Gemini and I just change and I say put, my picture and stuff. And then I'd be like, put me in a white blazer, red shirt, blah, blah, blah. You change it.
Wow.
And
See, now I like that.
you have to say, and I learned I be part of these AI groups on Facebook, and you have to say, use my exact facial expression, facial features. You have
Yeah,
to tell it like use my exact. Now
I
sometimes
like that.
yeah, I'm gonna text you some of the stuff, and people be like, I'll be like, put me in a white suit, I mean like a red suit, holding a soul sign and
Wow. See,
one
that's the
of them I had
thing.
put me on sitting on a pile of money. It had me sitting on a pile of money and stuff.
See, that's the good thing. Now, the good thing that is doing is music videos ain't expensive no more.
Right.
All these thousands of dollars to do that kind of stuff. No, you don't even need that. Now you could do you a music video, simplified, do it AI, put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that part of it. I do love that part. Um, and I won't say that, you can mix it. You can mix the AI with the traditional way of doing stuff. So I get that part, but
Yeah.
I just don't like the part of the complete takeover
Yeah. Yeah.
that you don't even need no talent.
Now
You know?
we was worried about the robots at the restaurant. Like ain't no
Yeah,
robot gonna take my order first of all. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But now we
and
got to worry
cook.
about the AI.
They got a restaurant in San Francisco. The robots cook your food as well. Yeah, yeah,
My son, we was in San Francisco and he goes, that car don't have a driver. I said, what? Now they
yep.
done brought the Waymos, they done brought it out here to El Grove. I wish I would get it. No.
Ah, they trying to take it worldwide.
But did you see one with the guy couldn't even get out? It was going round and round or something.
Yeah. And then I seen like one of them got stuck on the freeway and backed traffic up for miles and miles and miles. Yeah, it had
Crazy.
got in like an accident with another car, and they blocked the lanes on the freeway, and the people couldn't even get past them cars on the freeway for a long time. It backed it up miles and miles. It's crazy.
They needed human beings to come save the stupid road.
And it's like y'all still need us for something, don't you?
Right. Man, I enjoy this. Now I want to say, look, I hope you guys learned a lot, support, Farah, if you see him, well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Jason because we just talked about like music videos. People are still hire people like Jason, people to go out there and shoot the videos and stuff for you because
Yeah,
it is about quality, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
stuff. And you still want to look, have some of that realness to it. and everything. So
Yeah.
I have to give shout out. He's part of the sick-witted family.
Yeah. Oh, he do some good stuff.
Yes, he does. So I have to
Yeah.
give a shout out to my boy right there. So shout out how people can get in touch with you, your Facebook, your Instagram, or
Yeah.
whatever you have.
You can hit me on Facebook under Farah Minister. And then my Instagram is Bay underscore Hollywood. And then my other Instagram, Pink Diamonds Movie. That's how you could get in touch with me. My email, some people do email. It's is dues farah 22 at gmail.com. DEWS FARAH 22 at gmail.com.
Now I do have to say this. He's gonna be a guest. I'm gonna be hitting him up next month, but he did say Freeman Williams, Free Jack.
Yeah.
He said, I love it. He said, I want to do a project with bro. Can't wait to, he's been wanting to get on the show and stuff. I'm most definitely gonna be hitting you up to for next month, Free Jack. I promise, I promise, I promise. Thank you for the salute, to me and Farah, from you and everything.
And let me shout out Free Jack. He doing some wonderful, wonderful movies and stuff. And he do great music. He's been in the music industry for a while. And he's dynamite with his music and his movies and stuff as well. And man, hey, one day he and I, we probably will get together and do some powerhouse stuff. You know what I'm saying? If God say the same.
I see it. I believe it. I'm claiming it. You know,
Amen.
and I'll be right there cheering y'all on, me and Monica and drummer. Shout out to drummer Cat.
Yeah. How's she been?
I got to check on her. I've been seeing her like at the events, on Facebook. I really haven't been out. But yeah, I try to keep up with her, make sure she's acting right out there. You know what I mean?
And how is the entertainment scene in Sacramento?
You know what? Okay, so my boy Aaron Jones, shout out to Aaron Jones. He's been doing a lot of R&B, live R&B shows, and
Oh,
and
that's
and,
good.
and he's also been doing some poetry. He's been doing stuff at the Lock and Key and at the Wine Tap House and stuff. He's been bringing out some awesome, that good live music. Aaron Jones has. Um, and of course, Josh, he's still doing his thing. Rick is doing the Black Expo this Saturday and everything. But as far as, the music scene is, it's not like it's not like how it was when, I had the show back in the days and stuff because
Yeah,
of all the new technology. We gotta admit this music's different now. These artists a little bit different,
yeah,
Um, so it's just, but we still, like I said, we still got people who's, oh, I got Conscious Vibes. Got to get a shout out to Conscious Vibes because they bring out KRS-One. They bring out the old school, you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
so we got, like I say, Conscious Vibes, and Aaron that's still trying to keep that good music scene, out here.
yeah,
And Josh doing the parties and stuff like that,
yeah. That's
So,
good.
but so Sacramento, we got some things, going on. The comedy scene's really big out here too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got some great comments and stuff, at the Punchline. We got Lance Woods, Steph Sanders. I've been watching them since they started, and now they're
wow.
traveling, doing big stuff, and
Yeah,
everything. So Rico the Great and stuff. But you know, it is what it is. I think everywhere is just a little bit different. You guys, I know somebody was trying to bring a Yoshi's type of vibe out here. And that's kind of like what Aaron's kind of doing. I think Scarface is coming out here doing what's it called? The Tiny Desk or something. I think he's gonna be
oh, that's
in
nice.
Sacramento soon. So,
Yeah,
so yeah, they still we got the Thunder Valley out here, people, you know, like you said, like the George Clintons, the Jodeci's and stuff like that. A lot of them go to, you know, Thunder Valley. You know, Jay
Hey,
King.
now that you said George, let me say this right quick. I had finally met him some years ago.
Mm,
You know, and I told him, I met him in New Orleans, and I told him I'm your number one fan,
mhm,
and I told him you my mentor.
mhm,
After I had a conversation with him, he said, "You know what? You are my number one fan." Because I told him, now they got a documentary about him, but
mhm.
back then they didn't have one. I
Right.
told him everything about every last group that he created. And I told him about all the record deals he had with all the different groups and
Mm,
how he did what he did.
mm.
He was shocked. He was shocked.
Wow.
George was shocked.
Wow. And you know, speaking of the music scene, we can't, you know, we have to mention number one, my boy Sub Zero, you know, and Jay King. You know, to
Yeah,
me, Jay King put Sack. I say this, Jay King put Sack on the map with, you know, with Timex Social Club first, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I remember growing up in Seaside, you know, hearing, you know, Timex Social Club. And then it became Club Nouveau, you know what I mean? And Jay is still doing stuff out here. He's got now he's head of Black Chamber Conference and he's head of the radio station, I believe, you know, 97.
yeah,
So, you know, so you gotta give a shot, you know, props to Jay, big time, you know.
yeah. And I got to say a shout out to Thaxton Arterberry.
Oh,
Daxton, I did, he plugged me on his radio show before.
uh-huh.
You know, so I got to give a shout out to him, and
Isn't
he's
that the
going
same?
through the.
Is he with 90 where Jay is, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't ran into him in a while and stuff. You know, he does real estate too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where I actually had met him was the real estate at first. We were both, you know, I'm going on 24 years. So I think
Wow.
on about
Man, if I ever
honestly
run
going on
across
about
it, and
that long too, if not longer.
if I need any info on that side, I'm
I'm
calling
telling
you.
you, you got my number. I appreciate you. You know, you are welcome anytime. Let me see what Monica said. I would love to see oh yeah, she says she would love to see you and Free Jack work together.
Oh
Monica.
yeah.
And Free Jack said that Drummer Cat is doing great, you know.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, but I do
Yeah.
get on. I do when I see her. If I see her, you know, doing too much, I tell her, you know what, stop. You know,
Yeah.
she be like, I got it. You know, so no drummer cat. Yeah, I'll be on her when I see her. So,
Yeah.
but anytime you want to come back, just hit me up. You know, you're
Okay, I
always
will.
welcome. And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you a video of my son's shop. You might want to do a movie inside, you know, there too,
Yeah.
a scene or something
Okay.
you know, out there in Berkeley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's off of
Okay.
university.
That's where he is?
Hmm. He's
Oh,
off of
okay.
university in Berkeley. He's got his
Okay.
shop is 2 stories.
Oh, wow, that's
I'm gonna
beautiful.
send it to you right now and stuff. So
Okay, and then don't forget to send me the lady that does what she does with
yeah,
the
my
accent.
sister-in-law. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
actually my sister-in-law.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, I
All
love
right.
you, man. It's good to catch up with you and stuff. And
You too.
looking good. We look good for our age.
Amen. I'm trying. I'm trying to take care of what's left.
It's that water. You know, I grew up in that seaside water. You grew up in that San Francisco water. That
Yeah.
water was pretty good to us. So,
Yeah.
all right, family, you take it easy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, you too. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.